Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio, and today I'm dipping into the emails and feedback that I get on YouTube specifically today. So I have a video called How to Start Sales Conversations. And I'm all about sales conversations. I love talking to people. I love starting conversations. In fact, one of the things I like to do is I like to see how long I can keep a conversation going without really answering any questions. I know it's a silly game I play with myself, but what I do is I test myself by continue to ask open-ended questions to keep the other person talking. Now, I do this for one of two reasons. One, again, I want to test myself, see how long I can do this and keep a conversation going without talking about myself. But also, I notice from a psychological standpoint that when somebody's talking and they're doing most of the talking, they're really sharing a lot of information about themselves. One is that they feel closer to you. And then my third point is when I do this, I also gather more information, which is what I want. So when I'm talking to people, I want them to feel comfortable with me, which is why I want them to talk. I want to hear their story, but I also want to gather information as they're talking so that when I'm ready to talk, it has more impact. Now, so this video I have on YouTube is called How to Start Sales Conversations. And I get a question. I'm going to screw this name up. So let me be honest right now. And I apologize to this lovely young lady because I can see her avatar right here. Her name is Amni El-Hayek. Amni El-Hayek. And if I pronounced that wrong, I am really sorry. But Amni writes, "Hi, Victor. I just started my new job as a salesperson at a bedding store. How do you sell a mattress and talk about the benefits and features of it? And how do you also keep the conversation going without having nothing to say in the moment?" Now, the second question is the one that really caught my attention. So let me repeat it one more time. "Hi, Victor, just started a new job as a salesperson at a bedding store. How do you sell a mattress and talk about the benefits and features of it?" We'll answer that one first. But more importantly, how do you also keep the conversation going without having nothing to say in the moment? And here's what I say to you. 9 times out of 10, there's always something to say in the moment, okay? Especially if you really are into the other person. In other podcasts, I've always talked about, one of the best things you can do as a salesperson, Abby, is to really take the other person's point of view, really step into their shoes. So let's say somebody walked into a bedding store, right? Let's begin to assume that it's a couple. Okay, let's just try to visualize this. It's a couple that's walking into a bedding store. Now, ask yourself, why are they walking into a bedding store? They're looking for mattresses, right? And so if they're looking for mattresses, why are they looking for mattresses? Is it for them or is it for the kids? If it's for them, why? Why now? Then look at their age. Determine, is it a young couple? Is it an older couple? And you begin to figure out, maybe begin to understand why they may need it. Now, in order for you to always have something to say, practice what I mentioned earlier, which is to learn how to ask great questions. I've said this before in my past podcasts. The average salesperson practices what to say. The average salesperson practices what to say. The best salespeople practice what to ask. Because when you ask, 1, you keep the conversation going. 2, you focus on them, not you. 3, you gather more information to help you be a better salesperson. We often think that selling is about talking. It is not. Selling is about understanding. And if you can understand your customer, you can have a better conversation. Remember, when you're talking to the customer, it's not a presentation, it's a conversation. And in order to have a great conversation, we need to know more about that person or persons. Now, having said that, how do you keep a conversation going? So how do you sell a mattress and talk about the features and benefits? Well, first of all, you have to understand your product. You said you just started this job, so you're new to the job. So maybe you really haven't taken the time to develop or haven't had the time to develop a broad base of information, content, knowledge about mattresses. Now, there's a lot to learn about mattresses. How do I know? Because I went and bought one. I bought one of those Sleep Number beds, the ones that you can adjust. And as they were walking me through this process, I just didn't know there was so much to a mattress. This guy was going on and on and on about the construction. He talked about the material that the mattress is made of and went into great detail. He even went into how it's sewn. Then he went into how the actual, what did he call it? I forgot what he called it, but it's the airbag that's inside. He called it like a capsule or something, and what material it's used in that capsule and why that over time air won't leak out, and how this thing has all these sensors to detect if air's leaking out to make sure it can automatically adjust itself to provide the firmness that you so desire. He went on and on. He just could not stop talking. And I'm looking at this guy going, how much does he know about mattresses? Now, he's a great salesperson because he asked me a lot of questions of why we actually walked into the store. And so we talked about sleep, and then here's where he really differentiated himself. When he started talking about how much money the average person spends in their bed, like the number of hours per day during your lifetime, how many hours do you spend in bed? I thought that was interesting. Then he also talked about, you can use this air mattress we have here, this, Sleep Number bed, by the way, which we love, or versus one that springs, different coils. And he talked about the differences. He said, look, if you buy one that's with springs or coils, here's the average length of life of these mattresses, 5 years. Whereas this mattress, and again, he talked about the air mattress and the different construction of it and why it's going to last longer. What are the cost benefits of owning a Sleep Number versus a regular mattress? And again, he just kept going on and on. Then I thought what was really interesting is he tied it to productivity. Yes. He tied the mattress to productivity. He started citing these studies that if you sleep better, you will be X% more productive at work. And he would ask us questions. I said, are you feeling tired during the day? Are you feeling unproductive? How many hours do you think you're losing during the day because you're not sleeping well? And we're like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, maybe of productivity. I don't know. And so he tied it into productivity, which I thought was like genius. So again, Amni, there's so many things you can talk about during the conversation that, again, I'm going to ask you to do this. First of all, ask a lot of questions. When somebody walks in, before you jump into the product, before you get into your mattress pitch, really understand who you're talking to. Really ask a lot of questions and figure out, why are they walking through that door? Why are they in your store? Nobody walks in just to look at a mattress because they have nothing better to do. They're in that store for a reason. Something is happening in their life that they're saying, hey, we need to look at this. And maybe they're not ready to buy, but they're walking through that door looking for a solution. And you as a salesperson have to ask these key questions. Why are they walking in? Why do they need it? Why is it important? And if you can tie it back to the features and benefits of the mattress, and again, you got to understand the mattresses. You got to understand your product. You're just new, but you'll learn. Really talk about things that they care about. Again, take their point of view. So 2 things. Take their point of view. Ask a lot of questions up front, and you will become a more effective salesperson. Amni, I hope that helps. Give me your feedback once you listen to this. Anyway, that's it for this Sales Influence podcast. Don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think. I would greatly appreciate it. And I also appreciate the fact that many of you are leaving me questions on YouTube and some of the other channels. Thank you very much. I do my best to try to get back to them, back to you as soon as I can, but there's so many. But I do appreciate them. I'll do my best to keep up. Also, check out my sales training website. You know the deal, seminarsonselling.com, where you'll find great training videos for you or your team to help you grow your business. Lastly, I want to thank you. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.